What's good? What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Urban Platform Speaks. Make sure to like and subscribe as you tune into the channel and check out the content. And with that being said, man, I want to talk about the tragic story of Terrell Owens. Right, I recently came across this article about Terrell Owens and what he has gone through financially since he has retired. And I remember, watching Terrell Owens during his playing days and some of the antics that he did and everything, signing giving an autograph or signing that ball while, after he had scored the touchdown and all that stuff. Like Terrell Owens he really started a big trend of like he really took end zone celebrations and celebrations on the field to a whole nother level, right? And to the fans, that was cool. It was entertainment. But to some people, behind the scenes really didn't appreciate Terrell Owens, his arrogance, and things like that. So when you hear stories about how Terrell Owens had financial difficulties, for some people that's not. I mean, it was almost like some get back, right? Because publicly, when you a lot of times publicly you're making enemies that you don't even know you have, right? And so they're just your enemies are just waiting on your downfall. And so stories like this, you know, they should serve as a warning, right? And a cautionary tale for people like Terrell Owens who make it to the NFL or the NBA or whatever professional sports you play to once you make this money, once you get the money, focus on learning how to keep the money. Because I can see Terrell Owens, showing off and being arrogant and stuff on the field, and then somebody at that same time say, "Yeah, he's gonna be broke in a few years," or the joke is really on him, right? And so, with that being said, listen to Terrell Owens' story. I'm gonna play some audio, and then I'm gonna come back and give some more of my input.
Terrell Owens made $80 million playing football, and by 2012, he was telling Dr. Phil he didn't have a dollar of income coming in, while still owing roughly $120,000 a month in child support and housing expenses connected to four women raising his children. 2 years later, the bank took his house in Georgia. Most people think he simply blew it: cars, jewelry, the usual. But here's the part that gets left out. Owens was one of roughly 24 NFL players funneled into the same investment by the same man. This is the wealth autopsy of Terrell Owens. For 15 years, Owens was one of the most productive receivers ever to play the position. 6 Pro Bowls, more than 15,000 receiving yards, and a Hall of Fame resume, even with all the sideline drama that followed him from team to team. Between contracts and endorsements, he earned something like $80 million. And like many players in that position, he handed the business side of his life to somebody else. His agent was Drew Rosenhaus. Rosenhaus referred him to a financial advisor named Jeff Rubin, and Owens, trusting the recommendation, signed on without asking many questions. Rubin wasn't some guy off the street. He was registered with the NFL Players Association's own financial advisor program, which meant the league had effectively put its name behind him. So when Rubin pitched a group of players on an electronic bingo casino being built in Dothan, Alabama, they listened. Owens invested alongside Ray Lewis, Fred Taylor, Plaxico Burress, and Javon Curse. Buried in the paperwork was a warning that the bingo machines might not even be legal under Alabama law. Owens later said nobody ever showed it to him. 10% of the money Rubin raised from the players went directly into his own holding company. Rubin also held a 4% ownership stake in the casino he was recommending. He had skin in a game his clients didn't even know he was playing. If you're enjoying this episode, please make sure to give us a like and subscribe to our YouTube channel. It helps us keep the episodes coming. Link in the comments. Thank you. At the same time, the 2008 crash was hammering the real estate Owens had bought as a backup plan. Properties he expected to rent out once football ended, but now couldn't. The IRS had also filed liens against him in 2005, 2007, and 2009. None of this happened neatly, one problem at a time. It landed all at once, from every direction, while Owens was still trusting the same people to sort it out. In December 2008, Alabama's governor created a task force specifically to shut down electronic bingo across the state. The casino opened anyway in January 2010, with rows of machines and a full house on opening night. 2 weeks later, more than 100 state police vehicles rolled up and shut it down for good. $40 million in player money was gone, just like that. Rubin was eventually barred by the SEC and ordered to pay a $250,000 penalty, which tells you how lopsided the consequences were for the man behind the deal compared with the players who lost their money. Around that same time, someone Owens had personally helped in the past stole about $270,000 directly from his bank account. He eventually recovered the money, but the trust never really came back with it. And here's the part that actually finished the job. None of those losses reduced his child support obligations. 4 children, 4 households, roughly $120,000 a month, due whether the investment money existed or not. The NFL paycheck stopped. The advisor money disappeared into a bingo hall that was padlocked by police. The monthly bill never moved. Rubin helped destroy the fortune. The monthly obligations made sure it stayed gone. Thanks for watching. Leave a comment and let us know.
All right, and so the thing about it is, this is not, this happens continuously with athletes, right, and entertainers. They get referred by a agent to somebody who is going to just really exploit them and take advantage of them, right? And so I think that athletes and entertainers really, like I said, need to focus on being able to keep that money. Just like you learn how to play football, basketball, or baseball, you need to learn how to invest your money. You need to learn how to to manage your money, because if you leave it up to somebody else, then this is going to be the end result. And this happens so many times. It's not like this is every once in a while. And this is how you can tell that it is not just a coincidence. It's more so a conspiracy. They say that 90% of all professional athletes go broke within 5 years of playing, 5 years of retirement. And just imagine if you was a lawyer and you won 90% of your cases. You know what I mean? Like I think the federal government, I think they have like a 92% chance, a 92% win rate. That is just crazy. If you were successful at anything 90% of the time, if you're a basketball player and you hit 90% of your free throws, you are, you're one of the best free throw shooters in the league. And so how do you get to be one of the best free throw shooters in the league? It's not by mistake. But this is how they line these athletes up, and they put people around you that make it seem like they're going to look out for you. They're going to look out for your best interest, and that's not what happens. And so when you're an athlete on the field and you having fun, and you signing autographs and you spiking the ball at on a star at the 50-yard line, it's all a distraction. Everybody cheering you on for what you do on the field, for what you do on the field. And some people who are watching you play on the field know that, like, this is going to end tragically. And they just line you up like that. And like I said, and for athletes, man, I just think that they need to be, don't trust anybody. I think, and they say don't do, it just sounds like it's safer to save all your money in a mattress than it is to allow somebody to manage it for you. Because at least in the match, although in the mattress you're not earning any interest, but if somebody manage it for you, you see how they just siphon your cash off. He's taking 10%, of what you give him, and he's siphoning it off. Then he's taking another 4%, and he's he's using that for investments. So, and on top of that, he cheated these guys out of $40 million and got a $250,000 fine. So this lets you know that they're not really trying to stop or discourage these guys from cheating these athletes. How you going to steal $40 million and have to pay $250,000 back? That's crazy. You know, if you rob a bank, they want, you know what I mean? They trying to find every last penny of that. They want, so yeah, man. But like I said, these tragic stories, people just can't get enough of these tragic stories, man. And the athletes keep putting themselves in positions where they just feeding, they just feeding the algorithm, just feeding the people these stories. And you don't want to be like Terrell Owens. These athletes don't want to be like Terrell Owens and wind up on the Dr. Phil show talking about he's broke. It's crazy. So that's my take on it. Make sure to like and subscribe. Also, don't forget to leave a comment, and I'll check you all out in the next video. Peace.